Welcome to Skinner and Chalmers' weekly roast. Today, a cheerful get-together, Merry Christmas, and the best sugar cookies from Memefield.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to Skinner and Chalmers' weekly roast. It's a real pleasure to have you all tuning in today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here for this special episode. Speaking of specials, first of all, we both hope you enjoyed the Christmas specials. We put a lot of effort into the stories, and if you don't know them yet, please have a look at the Sleigh Bell stories.
Definitely, we hope you like them. And hey, Chalmers, did you hear that? It sounds like someone's excited about the Christmas cookies we're going to make tonight.
At this moment, Cosmo rolls into the room and begins to emit a faint glow.
Oh, Skinner, you always have a way with words. But yes, today's episode is all about baking some delicious live biscuits together with our friends in Memefield Elementary School.
Yeah, I can't wait to get started. The kitchen's set up perfectly for this.
Perfectly. Oh, you know me, I like things organized. Plus, the school kitchen is way better than trying to do this at home again. We are so many people coming together, our kitchen is quite small for that. Plus, I have fire safety concerns. Remember last year when we burned down the house with those gingerbread cookies?
Oh, right. That was a disaster. But honestly, it's the memories that make it worth it. Speaking of which, where are everyone else?
Looking around, let me see. Sonic and Shadow should be here any minute now. Yugi, Anna, Echo, Swampy, and Garfield are already in the kitchen. Oh, and don't forget about our pet skeleton, Bartholomew, who's always a good friend to have around.
You never cease to amaze me with all these details, Chalmers. But yes, Bartholomew is definitely coming along. I bet he'll bring some of his spooky stories, too.
Oh, don't remind him about the swamp monster incident again. That was quite an adventure, though.
Oh, come on, Chalmers. You know you loved every minute of it.
Well, I did survive, didn't I? Now, let's head over to the school kitchen. The biscuits are waiting, and so is our audience.
Agreed. Let's make some magical cookies that will leave everyone wanting more.
Absolutely. And maybe we'll even find a way to sneak in some of those secret recipes you've been hoarding, Skinner.
Maybe, but only if I get to keep the credit for all the deliciousness.
Oh, please. You always take full credit anyway. But who am I to argue with such a skilled baker?
Well, thank you. It's not just about the baking, it's about the love and effort that goes into each cookie.
Speaking of which, have we thought about what flavors to make today? Maybe something classic like gingerbread, but perhaps with a twist.
Thinking aloud, what if we try making some cookie dough snowmen or little elf figurines? That could be fun for the kids.
Oh, that's brilliant. And maybe add some edible glitter to make them sparkle. It'll be like Christmas come to life in our biscuits.
Perfect idea. I can't wait to get started on that.
All right, then. Let's gather all the supplies and begin this festive baking adventure together.
Let's do it. Merry Christmas to you all from Memefield Elementary School. All right, Chalmers, let's make our way to Memefield Elementary School. I can't wait to see how the kitchen is set up for this festive baking adventure.
Yeah, it should be amazing. Remember last year when we transformed the entire school with Christmas lights and decorations? It was a sight to behold.
Oh, right. I think our neighbors were a bit confused by all those twinkling bulbs in their yard. But seriously, it made for some memorable cookies.
And the smell of gingerbread filling the hallways was simply irresistible. Speaking of which, have you been practicing any new recipes lately?
I've got a few up my sleeve. Maybe something with edible glitter and little cookie dough snowmen. But don't tell anyone yet, it's all top secret.
Oh, I'm sure everyone is dying to know what's in store. Maybe we can announce it once the biscuits are ready.
Okay, fine. Just promise not to spill the beans before then.
Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, about those pets of ours. Cosmo has been acting extra hyper today. Do you think he'll cause any trouble in the kitchen?
Cosmo always does. I half expect him to try flying through the oven again, like last time he got stuck in the ventilation system.
Oh, that was a wild ride. I still get a good chuckle thinking about how we had to disassemble part of the school just to retrieve him. But it's all in good fun.
Definitely. And then there's old Bartholomew, our pet skeleton. How does he interact with the baking process? I can't imagine him stirring batter or rolling dough. But maybe he has his own unique way of contributing.
Oh, you know him well enough to see that. He probably just sits in a corner and listens to us, perhaps offering wise skeleton advice between bites.
Maybe something like, remember bones are the strongest part of your body, while holding up a biscuit shaped like a bone. Classic. Bartholomew.
Or he might suggest adding extra spice to give the biscuits some backbone. Ha! Get it.
That was a good one. Speaking of which, what about Crocado? I've heard he's been causing some eruptions in his volcano setup lately. How does that affect our baking?
Well, his little eruptions usually result in some flour dust and minor messes, but overall, he's pretty good at keeping things contained.
That's true. Gizmo and Mr. Jellybeans are always busy too. Do you think they'll join us today?
Sure, they're part of the family now, after all. Maybe they'll help shape some cookies into fun designs.
I can't wait to see what kind of shapes we end up with. Perhaps some jelly bean decorations or Mongolian diff memorim designs. It's going to be a mix of traditional and whimsical.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe our neighbors will stop by again just to admire the new kitchen setup. It could become quite the tradition.
Maybe they'll even bring some eggnog to celebrate our baking success. Or perhaps some of those secret recipes of mine might leak out into the community.
Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on things. Now let's get moving. The biscuits are waiting, and so is everyone else.
Agreed. Let's make this the best baking episode yet. We're soon at the school.
Skinner and Chalmers continue their journey to the school kitchen, filled with excitement and anticipation for what lies ahead.
Well, here we are. Memefield Elementary School, the baking capital of Christmas. I can't believe how many friends showed up today just for baking some cookies.
It's going to be a blast. Everyone seemed so excited and ready for some festive fun when we gave them the invitation card. Let's get started on joining the group and introducing our guests to our listeners, shall we?
Skinner and Chalmers turn towards the group of friends waiting in the kitchen.
Well, hello there. First off, let me give a warm welcome to everyone. Let's start with welcoming our dear Sonic, our gaming guru. What's new with the hedge trimmings these days?
Oh man, even in winter, it's a blast. You know I can't stop when I start trimming. Last week, I added some festive patterns on Mr. Swimmer's lawn that looked like a sea of Santa Clauses. But it was worth every second.
That does sound like you, Sonic. And speaking of gaming, how about our stealthy warrior, Shadow? Any recent missions take you to interesting places?
I visited a place called The Bad Place. Not as bad as it sounds. It had its moments. But let's just say I learned the art of blending in and coming out victorious.
Now that's a story. You should have seen my face when you told us about it, Shadow. Anyway, I've been keeping up with the latest card game trends. Have any of you heard of the game Shadowfall?
Shadowfall. Sounds like something from one of your missions, Shadow.
Maybe, but it's a new deck building game that combines elements of stealth and strategy. I think some Memefield residents might want to invest in some cards.
Laughter fills the kitchen as everyone imagines Memefielders playing card games. But everyone wonders why Yuji can even think about playing a different card game than you. Jai. Oh, at this moment, some of the missing guests arrive.
Oh, please? I love these get-togethers. Hey there, everyone. So nice to see you again.
Hello there from me too. How is everyone doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. Thanks for asking. And nice dress. Echo. I really like it. Fits your personality.
Oh, Shadow, you make me blush. It's not often a robot gets a compliment.
That may mean something, Echo, if Shadow tells you something nice like that. But it's nice that you're here now. Is there anything new from Overwatch?
Ah, you know, Sonic, between Overwatch and all our missions coming with being a member there. Well, there's always a good story to be had. Huh. Echo and I were just discussing the latest lore updates for the game some people created about our organization.
Yeah, the new Catter update for Mercy, called Winter Mercy, is pretty amazing. Her abilities are so cool, especially when she freezes enemies in place.
I know, right? And you should have seen our reactions when we found out that Genji got a new dance emote.
Now hold on, folks. Not everything is about games around here. You all know me. at least for a month or so since Halloween and the new visiting schedules for the old swamp monster. Anyways, I bring the quickie stories from Memefield. So, I've been meaning to tell you guys about the time I helped a family of squirrels escape some curious cats.
Oh please, Swampy. I've heard them before, but if it involves squirrels, I'm all ears.
Swampy and Garfield exchange playful glances.
Okay, this one's different, Garfield. There was a family of squirrels trapped in a tree by some cats who thought they were going to make them their dinner. But with quick thinking and some strategic nut throwing, well, let's say we've negotiated a deal. The cats got a tin of the finest cat food, and the squirrels were able to continue their family dinner undisturbed. We also agreed an injunction with the local district court to ensure that the squirrels are no longer harassed by cats. In return, the cats receive compensation of 10 treats per day.
I must say, quite a story, as well as it's quite a collection of individuals we have here, each with their own unique stories to tell. As a skeleton, I find great joy in listening to them all.
Everyone looks at Bartholomew, who is casually leaning against the counter, offering a silent smile, just like when Loomis is just standing in a corner again, lurking.
Yeah, Bartholomew, you're such a character observer. But seriously, your presence alone brings a certain skeleton. Why charm to our baking adventures?
Absolutely. And speaking of baking, it's time to get started on those live sugar cookies. Who wants to help with the dough?
Hands shoot up in the air.
Okay, let's divide and conquer then. Anna and Echo, you could make the duff, together with Bartholomew and Yugi. After that, Sonic, why don't you roll out the dough while I chop up some chocolate chips? Shadow, how about decorating after we finish shaping? And Swampy, since you're such a storyteller.
Oh, I love baking.
Great. Why don't you help Garfield with measuring the ingredients? You two seem to get along so well.
Garfield mumbles something unintelligible, but nods nonetheless. The group splits up, each taking on a task related to the baking process.
I love these moments. There's just something about coming together and creating something delicious that brings us all closer. Plus, with this festive music playing, it feels like we're in our own little Christmas wonderland.
Indeed. And look at Bartholomew helping Anna with the measuring. He might not seem like a baker, but I have a feeling he'll surprise us all.
Bartholomew grins, clearly enjoying himself. The kitchen fills with laughter, chatter, and the sounds of flour being kneaded and batters being mixed.
All right, team, flour is flying, dough is rolling, and cookie cutters are standing by. Let's make these the best Christmas cookies Memefield has ever seen.
Knowing this group, I'm more concerned about keeping the kitchen intact. Who left the eggs on the edge of the counter? Garfield, was it you?
I'm insulted you'd even ask, Chalmers. I haven't touched an egg since that disastrous softly attempt last year.
Oh, you mean the one where half of it ended up on the ceiling? Yeah, that was memorable.
Let's focus, people. I call dibs on a shake cookie cutter. Stars are my thing.
Of course they are. Nothing says holiday spirit like branding yourself.
Shadow, don't knock the enthusiasm. Speaking of branding, who wants to take on the Memefield dimmed cookie designs? You know, like tiny hedges for Sonic or a loaf of lasagna for Garfield.
If there aren't lasagna cookies, I'm walking out right now.
How do we even make a lasagna cookie? Do we layer the dough?
Leave it to Garfield to turn cookies into a full-blown tree.
If Garfield gets lasagna cookies, can I make swamp-shaped ones? Little Bob cookies with green icing?
Why not? Let's make a cookie for every personality here. A grumpy one for Shadow, a hyper one for Sonic, and maybe something smoky for Swampy.
Smoky? Are you saying Swampy tastes like Barbie?
Hey, I resent that. I'm more herbaceous.
All right, let's keep this kitchen civil. Swampy, you can have your bog cookies. Sonic, start cutting out those stars.
So, by the way, what is everyone up for this Christmas? Skinner, I hear you're hosting a grand family dinner. Sounds like it's going to be quite an event.
Oh, absolutely. We're planning on having everyone over. A real mix of Memefield residents and family. It should be a blast. Chalmers, you know how I love to cook up a storm when the whole gang is together.
That sounds wonderful, Skinner. And I bet you'll have some delicious dishes ready for everyone. After all, your culinary skills are legendary in these parts.
Thank you, Yuji. I do try. But this time, I wanted to make sure there's something for everyone. So, Chalmers and I thought about it. A variety of dishes. Maybe some traditional Christmas fare, but with a Memefield twist.
That sounds perfect. And we can't forget the cookies. These live biscuits are going to be so much fun. I can already imagine everyone gathering around the table, enjoying these sweet treats while we catch up.
I know I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great way to end this year and start off the next one. Speaking of which, I've been thinking about my plans for the holidays. Yuji, yesterday you men hosting a cozy night in.
That's right. I thought it would be nice to just spend some quality time at home with some good board games and a warm cup of hot cocoa. Nothing too crazy.
Let me guess. Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Monopoly.
It's a classic, and don't act like you're too good for it. Last time we played, you insisted on being the Dark Magician token.
And I won, didn't I?
I would prefer not talking about it further. Maybe we're just enjoying some hot cocoa this time around.
Hot cocoa sounds great. I might even whip up a batch of my famous marshmallows to go along with it. Everyone loves Swampies. Marshmallows?
You know what? I might just join Yugi. Sometimes a quiet night in is exactly what a warrior needs after all the fighting. Plus, hot cocoa can't hurt.
That sounds nice, Shadow. And it's always good to have some downtime. But we should also think about visiting our neighbors. Master Chief, for example. He always has something exciting going on. Maybe you should consider inviting him, Yugi.
Oh, definitely. You should do, Yugi. I've been wanting to check out his latest project. Plus, it's always fun to see what he's up to these days.
Absolutely. And while we're at it, how about a quick trip to the Twitch Asylum? We could drop by and see how Robot Skinner is doing. He might need some moral support after his less than stellar reunification attempts.
That's a great idea. I know Robot Skinner would appreciate it. Maybe deep down, there is still good with him. I can imagine it's hard to love without having a heart, and it gives us a chance to see if there are any cookies left over from our batch that he might want to try.
It is always good to check in with family, especially during the holidays. It's a chance to heal things, fix things, or just have a great time together.
As he rolls out some dope good point, but wait a second. You know, I was thinking, what if we added a little twist to these biscuits? Maybe some edible snowflakes or even tiny Santa Claus figures. It could be a fun surprise for everyone.
That's a brilliant idea. We can use cookie cutters in various shapes. Snowflakes, presents, reindeer. The possibilities are endless.
I love it. And we can make some more traditional shapes too. Maybe some gingerbread men or sugar cookies with intricate designs.
The group continues to chat while they work on the DALF. Cookie cutters are pulled out, and ideas flow freely.
Other as he decorates a biscuit. You know, I never thought baking could be so therapeutic. It's almost like meditation, in a way.
Yeah, I get what you mean. There's something about the process that just clears your mind and lets you focus on the moment.
That's exactly it. And when we're done here today, we'll have a bunch of delicious cookies to share with our friends in Memefield. It's gonna be a great day. All right, everyone, the cookies are in the oven and we've got about 20 minutes before they're ready. Time for a well-earned break.
Finally, my hands are covered in flour, and I'm pretty sure there's dove in my shoes.
How you managed that, I don't even want to know.
At least it's not in your hair. I think I'm going to need a flower shampoo after this.
Amateurs. I managed to avoid all messes while also perfecting my lasagna cookie technique.
That's because you didn't do any of the rolling. You just sat there and supervised your dove rectangle like it was a masterpiece.
And yet, it's still the best cookie here. Coincidence? I think not.
All right, let's refocus before Garfield declares himself the king of cookies. Let's talk about Memefield. Christmas in this town really is something special, isn't it?
It's true. There's just something about this place during the holidays. The lights, the decorations, even the way everyone gets into the spirit, chaos and all.
Have you guys been to the Memefield Christmas market yet? They've got this new stall selling magical ornaments. Apparently, Each one tells a different story when you hang it on the tree.
Oh, I saw that. They had one shaped like a chili dog. I was tempted.
Of course you were. I'm sure it tells the heartwarming tale of how Sonic devoured 20 chili dogs in one sitting.
Hey, 21. And it was a proud moment. Thank you very much.
Did anyone see that shop on Main Street? The one selling those controversial Christmas candies?
Controversial candy? What could possibly be controversial about candy?
Oh, it's a thing. They've got candy canes shaped like pickles, licorice-flavored Santa heads, and something called sprout toffees that taste like Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. That's not candy. That's a punishment.
I kind of want to try the pickled candy cane, just to say I did.
I can't decide if that's brave or insane.
Insane. Definitely insane.
Well, I see. That place is always a hot topic of discussion. I can remember a time when Skinner and Chalmers went in there to buy some sweets and came out with something. Let's just say it wasn't exactly conventional candy.
Now that sounds like an interesting adventure. But speaking of adventures, I have one of my own to share. Remember when Yugi taught me a new card game? We spent hours playing and strategizing, trying to outmaneuver each other. I never knew a simple card game could be so intense.
Oh, yes. I was there for that too. And don't forget about the time swampium for Liz's latest robotics project. We ended up building an entire army of robots. It was quite a sight.
Indeed, Sonic. I remember those sleepless nights working on that project. But in the end, it was all worth it when we were able to present our creation to everyone at Memefield's annual science fair.
That sounds like a great memory. And speaking of memories, let's not forget about the time Master Chief visited us with his latest project. Giant mech suit? He let us all take turns trying it on and running around town in it. It was definitely an experience I won't soon forget.
Meh, if you ask me, the best memories are those of napping or eating.
That's not surprising, Garfield. But those memories we share help to bind our community together, especially during the holiday season. I am glad we can come together and enjoy these moments with one another.
You're absolutely right, Bartholomew. And it's always fun to look back on all the adventures we've had together in Memefield. But speaking of adventures, there was that time when I and Chalmers stumbled upon a swamp monster.
Oh, yes. We were exploring the Memefield forest at Halloween. It seemed like a harmless enough venture at the time. But then we heard this loud noise coming from the depths of the forest, and before we knew it, we were face to face with an enormous swamp monster.
Well, I didn't want to scare you. Well, maybe a little, but you have to look at it this way. I've just got home from work and instead of relaxing, 1,000 people are running through the forest to see me and get scared. But I'm glad it turned out that way. Things have improved a lot since then. The kids are happy and I've made some great friends with you guys.
And well, as it turns out, our local swamp monster here is actually an engineer. The ideas for mechatronic robots for the Halloween season in the forest are fantastic.
Only in Memefield could you stumble upon a swamp monster who turns out to be an engineer. I can't wait to see what other adventures we'll have this holiday season.
Absolutely. And with these delicious cookies fresh from the oven, it feels like the holidays are truly upon us.
Let's not forget about our visit to Twitch Asylum. It'll be great to see how Roboskinner is developments in his secret laboratory.
Secret laboratory. What? In the Twitch Asylum? We didn't approve that.
Well, I didn't mean, no, laboratory. It's a regional dialect.
Ah, what region? Upstate New York?
Oh no, it's an Albany expression.
I see for now, but I will look into it.
While we're at it, maybe a bit random, but I have so many ideas for new projects we could work on together. Maybe a marshmallow making robot or even a self-cleaning alligator pool. The possibilities are endless.
It sounds like we're in for quite the adventure. But before we go to the Twitch Asylum later, I have one final question. Who wants to try out that controversial candy from the shop?
Everyone looks at each other nervously.
I'll take a box, or maybe two.
As the group chatted, there is a bing sound coming from the non-burning school kitchen.
Well, it looks like our sugar cookies have come out perfectly.
Indeed, Skinner. They smell fantastic, and I can't wait to try one. I wonder what flavors everyone will choose for their decorations.
I think I'll go with some red and green sprinkles, just like the colors of Christmas.
If Sonic can do it, then so can I. I'm going to use black icing for my cookies. It adds a mysterious touch.
I know what I want to do with mine. Edible snowflakes and little presents.
I think I'll make some simple flowers on my cookies, but with personalized messages for each friend. After all, it's a thought that counts.
I have to do something special for these cookies. I'll use edible glitter to make my design sparkle.
You know what? I think I'll write a riddle on each cookie and see if anyone can solve it.
I don't care about decorating cookies. I just want to eat them.
Everyone laughs as they start decorating their cookies.
It is always fun to share in these small moments with friends, making each other smile.
Absolutely. And speaking of friends, we were talking about visiting Robot Skinner at the Twitch Asylum later, right? We should bring a letter and some cookies to show him that we're thinking of him and hoping for his recovery.
That's a wonderful idea. We all hope that there is still some good left in our friend Robot Skinner. He is an important part of our community if he just opens up someday.
I agree. It would be so sad if we lost him to his darker side forever. Maybe our cookies can help bring a little light back into his life.
Echo is right. I'll make sure to add an extra, special message on my cookie for Robot Skinner. It might not seem like much, but every little bit counts.
We should also include a note of encouragement and support our letter to him. Sometimes a few kind words can make all the difference, and it can make your heart beat again wherever it is.
I'll definitely add some positive thoughts into my decorations too. Maybe it will inspire Robot Skinner to fight his evil side and come back to us as the friend we once knew.
We should also let him know that we're here for him if he ever needs our help or support. Sometimes, just knowing you have friends by your side can make all the difference in the world.
I don't care about Robot Skinner. I just want more cookies.
Garfield always the charming one. But guys, these are some of the best sugar cookies we've ever made. I can't wait to share them with our other friends here in Memefield or the listeners or our mayor and see what they think.
Agreed. And once we're done decorating, let's gather together for a taste test. I have a feeling these cookies are going to be fantastic.
I second that motion. Let's make sure to save some for Robot Skinner, too. That pen goes especially to you, Garfield.
All right, let's finish up our cookies and get ready for a delicious taste test.
Oh, I wish I could eat. But still, just seeing the biscuits and determining chemical flavor profile with my sensors in my hand is great enough.
Well, then enjoy the cookies. Echo. It's always fun to try new recipes, especially when they turn out as well as these ones.
I think we're ready for our taste test now. Shall we start with mine?
Course. Let's see how your riddle cookie turned out, Yugi.
Whatever you guys say. I just want to eat cookies and take a nap.
They all gather around the table of decorated sugar cookies.
All right, everyone, let's start with Yugi's cookie.
This is my riddle cookie. It reads, I am small and round, yet I make a sound. What am I?
That sounds like an alligator egg. You are very clever, Yugi.
You're right. And the answer to my cookie riddle is, I am hidden in plain sight, yet you can't quite see. What am I?
That seems like a difficult one. Let me think.
The answer is a shadow. Your decorating skills are truly amazing. Shadow.
All right, let's move on to my other cookie riddle. I am cold and sweet, yet I can melt your heart. What am I?
That sounds like ice cream. You are quite the puzzle master, Yugi.
You're right. And let's see the message on my cookie for Robot Skinner. Stay strong and come back to us. It's a simple message, but it comes from the heart. As someone who knows the darkness and has returned, I know what it feels like.
That's a beautiful message. I'll make sure to include something similar on mine.
I think we're all feeling inspired by this little baking project.
These have been some of the most enjoyable sugar cookies we've ever made. And now that they're decorated and ready for a taste test, let's gather around the table and see what everyone thinks.
Agreed. This has truly been a memorable experience, one I won't soon forget. Let's enjoy these delicious sugar cookies together as we look forward to our holiday season.
To the best sugar cookies in Memefield.
Cheers to that.
I second that. These sugar cookies are truly a masterpiece.
Here's to wonderful memories and delicious treats.
And may Roboskinner find his way back to us, surrounded by love and support.
Let's hope that our cookies bring him a little light in these dark times.
Whatever you guys say, I just want more cookies and naps.
They all gather around the table of decorated sugar cookies, taking turns tasting each one and expressing their thoughts about how delicious they are.
Wow, you know what? I can't believe our sugar cookie baking adventure is already over! It was such a fun day spent with great friends, fantastic food, and delicious treats.
I couldn't agree more, Skinner. And I have to say, those sugar cookies were some of the best I've ever tasted. Our combined culinary skills never failed to impress.
Agreed. And speaking of impressive, let's not visit to the controversial candy shop during our little break. That was definitely a memorable experience.
Oh, that candy shop was quite the adventure. All right, I think we all learned a little something about taking risks and trying new things.
Well, at least we all have some interesting stories to share with our other Overwatch friends back home. Save and let's not forget about Roboskinner. We need to make sure he knows how much we care, for him hope he finds his way back to us.
I couldn't agree more. Echo, we should all remember the importance of love and support during these tough times. And hey, maybe our sugar cookies will bring a little bit of holiday cheer to Roboskinner.
Absolutely. Let's keep this Roboskinner I've never met in our thoughts as we move forward. And speaking of moving forward, Skinner and Chalmers, what are your plans for the future? I know our listeners will be eager to hear more engaging episodes like this one.
Well, Swampy, we have many exciting adventures planned for 2025. From exotic cooking lessons in far-off lands to undercover investigations into the strange and unusual. You can count on Skinner and Chalmers' weekly roast to deliver the goods.
Absolutely, Skinner. And we want to thank each and every one of our listeners for joining us today. We couldn't do it without you, and your support means the world to us.
So, when can we expect the next episode? I can hardly wait.
Well, Yugi, we'll have to keep you in suspense for just a little while longer. But rest assured, we're already hard at work on our next adventure, and it promises to be bigger and better than ever before.
Whatever you guys say, I just want more cookies and naps.
They all laugh as Cumulus floats by overhead. The freshly rested alligators from their little nap also waddle into the kitchen, go straight to Sonic and sniff him.
It has been a wonderful day spent with friends, making memories that will last a lifetime. And to our dear listeners, we wish you a Merry Christmas and hope you are enjoying the holiday season with your loved ones.
Absolutely. And remember, no matter where life takes us, we'll always be here for each other. So let's keep in touch and see what adventures 2025 holds for all of us.
I couldn't agree more. Echo, we're a family and we always have each other's backs. And hey, maybe we can even plan another sugar cookie baking adventure sometime soon.
I'm definitely up for that. How about we make it a competition to see who can create the most delicious and unique sugar cookies? It could be our next big adventure.
I like your style, Sonic. And speaking of competitions, who wants to race their alligators in the river next week? The loser has to cook dinner for everyone.
Oh, Shadow, you always know how to get us all excited. Well, it looks like we've got plenty of adventures ahead. Let's enjoy the holiday season and see what 2025 brings our way.
Absolutely, Skinner. And don't forget, we always have each other to rely on, no matter what life throws our way. Happy holidays to you all, and we can't wait to see you again soon on Skinner and Chalmers' Weekly Roast.